At the start of World War I, submarines were little more than watertight cylinders. However, in the opening days of that war, the Unterseeboot U-9 sank 3 British cruisers in just over 1 hour, changing forever the traditional concepts of sea power. Meanwhile, the introduction of air power was proving more amusing than impressive. In spite of its fragile appearance, the airplane possessed 2 attributes which would eventually endanger the underwater craft: speed and long-range surveillance. By war's end, maritime patrol planes were routinely flying anti-submarine warfare, or ASW, missions. Supported by surface vessels, air power had become truly effective in helping counter the U-boat threat. By the start of World War II, the submarine had been substantially improved. Though faster and longer ranged, air power had to still rely on see-and-shoot tactics. Early in the war, a Lockheed-built Hudson became the first operational aircraft to be equipped with airborne radar. The Hunter could now see through the darkness of night, ending the submarine's use of nighttime cover to recharge its batteries. Soon, even the submarine's last refuge, the deep, was compromised by improvements in depth bombs and the addition of airborne sonar. By the end of World War II, it had nevertheless become clear that the submarine used in sufficient numbers could drastically affect the outcome of any future war, a lesson well perceived by the Soviet Union. By war's end, the largest submarine force in the world was Soviet, a position they still hold today. But it would not be until 1955, when the USS Nautilus radioed "underway on nuclear power," that the subsurface threat asserted its full potential. Assuming the Soviets would soon have their own nuclear submarines, the U.S. Navy was forced to reevaluate its ASW capability. A new, larger ASW airframe was needed, one with longer range, extended on-station endurance, and with the speed to reach very distant targets. Drawing on the experience of its long line of ASW aircraft, starting with the radar-armed Hudson, the Harpoon, and Ventura, and finally the P-2V Neptune, the most widely used maritime patrol aircraft of its day, Lockheed came prepared with almost 20 years of hands-on experience in building airborne anti-submarine weapon systems. From the start, the nuclear sub-threat seemed to argue one must use the most advanced technology available to counter this new subsurface weapon, such as jet engines and swept-back wings. But 2 decades of ASW experience had shown Lockheed that airborne ASW work required range, endurance, and low-speed loitering skills. Only the dash to get on station quickly would benefit from jet-like speeds. Thus, Lockheed chose the best of both technologies. For speed, it selected the jet power of the turbo engine, which retained the exceptional low-speed stability of props, while 4 engines gave Lockheed's new ASW plane the capacity to carry a multitude of new weapon systems to extreme distances from land, with heretofore unheard-of reliability. This larger airframe also allowed for an extensive crew rest area, a vital consideration when patrols could easily last half a day, or even up to 16 hours, should the situation require. Cabin pressurization and air conditioning reduced crew stress while simultaneously improving the electronic system's performance with a universally cool environment. Lockheed would call this new ASW platform Orion, the Hunter. This marriage of prop, jet, and wide tubular fuselage, all borne on blunt yet extremely lift-efficient wings, was to represent a most flexible workhorse. one which could carry large and varied weapon loads to ranges exceeding 5,000 nautical miles, that could fly at dash speeds in excess of 400 knots, then loiter under 200 knots, on 3 or even 2 engines, thereby stretching Orion's long legs even longer. To the U.S. Navy, Orion was ideally suited to challenge the changing submarine threat. But to smaller nations, with limited resources, it was Orion's multi-mission capabilities which caught their attention. For here, within one airframe, was the plane which could meet all their airborne maritime needs. The P-3's search radar and navigational systems are two of Orion's most effective systems. Flying at 25,000 feet, Orion can survey a swath of ocean almost 270 nautical miles wide. At 350 knots, on a 10-hour mission, Orion can monitor 1 million square nautical miles. And through computer enhancement, it can see tiny objects, like a small boy adrift on a surfboard, which has occurred, or even a periscope. While human sight is indeed vital in the maritime patrol mission, and Orion's weapon systems multiply the power of this organ 1,000,000-fold. With radar that can see over 90,000 square nautical miles an hour. On days of low visibility or throughout the night, Orion's infrared display system can see where no human eye could otherwise watch, without the subject even knowing he's being observed. Hearing also plays a vital role. Orion probes the depths of the sea by listening through 32 or more channels of acoustic sonar, while a magnetic anomaly detection system can practically pinpoint the location of subsurface objects. All are intelligence-gathering systems, systems which are assisted and monitored by the swiftness of an onboard digital computer. Such are the eyes and ears and the brains of Orion. Taken together, they have no equal in today's airborne maritime mission. Equally as important as the ability to collect information is the ability to share it quickly and accurately. Here at the NAVCOM station, these tasks are accomplished with swiftness and accuracy never before realized. In the newer Orions, this information can be transmitted directly to other aircraft, ships, or base station, maximizing the effectiveness of similarly equipped forces involved in any given ASW operation. Orion, a guardian of national sovereignty. The multi-mission warrior best suited to project a worldwide monolithic ASW capability. A capability which forces a potential aggressor to realize he must risk the prospect of protected sea lanes, of a protracted war. Factors which not only complicate his calculations, but cause hesitation and generate doubt of an easy victory. Orion, the hunter, yet a savior of life, a maritime patroller, and a most vital international guardian of peace.